Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my channel, Jasim Study Point. A brief tutorial by the grace of Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Dear viewers, today I want to discuss a very important topic, that is transformation of sentence. This is very important. Dear viewers, I have discussed more about transformation of sentence in my last class. How many types of sentences includes in transformation I have discussed in my last class, and I have discussed more in my last class how to change affirmative to negative. Okay, my dear viewers, today I will discuss a very important role of affirmative to negative, how to change affirmative to negative. Firstly, you will remember transformation that says you have to change the form of the sentence, but you cannot change the meaning of the sentence. Okay, dear viewers, so only you have to change the form of the sentence, but always you will think you cannot change the meaning of the sentence. Okay, dear viewers, today I will discuss affirmative to negative, how to make, how to change, how to transfer affirmative to negative. If you want to transfer any sentence affirmative to negative, or if you want to change any sentence affirmative to negative or negative to affirmative, then your first work is you have to identify the symptom. Dear viewers, today I will discuss affirmative to negative, second rule or structure, how to change affirmative to negative. Try to understand, my dear viewers. Okay, my dear viewers, what is your first work? If you want to transfer any sentence, the first work is you have to identify the symptom from the sentence. After that, you will transfer or change the sentence according to the symptom. Okay, dear viewers, if you see these types of symptoms in affirmative sentence, okay, if you say must, have to, has to, can, need to, then if you want to transfer the sentence in negative, or if you get an instruction to make the sentence in negative, then you have to use cannot but instead of this symptom. Okay, if you see these types of symptom, maybe must, have to, or has to, or can, or need to, and if you want to transfer or change the sentence in negative, then you have to use cannot but, okay, instead of this symptom. Okay, my dear viewers, follow example. Affirmative sentence: we must do the work. This is a sentence. This is affirmative sentence. Okay, maybe your instruction is you have to change it in negative. If you want to change it in negative, then you have to identify the symptom. In this sentence, there is a symptom, that is must. Okay, for this reason, if you want to change in negative, you have to use cannot but instead of must. That's enough. Okay, follow negative. You have to use we can not but. Then you have to write another words. Do the work. Do the work. Only you have to change must and you have to use cannot but. You will use cannot but instead of must. That's enough to change or transfer the sentence affirmative to negative. Okay, dear viewers. So if you want to change it in negative to affirmative, if you want to change any sentence negative to affirmative, your first work will be you have to identify the symptom. Okay, if you can see these types of symptom, cannot but, then you have to use must, have to, has to, can, or need to. Maybe you can use, but if you want to change it negative to affirmative, you try to use must, no matter, instead of cannot but. Follow example. We cannot but do the work. This is a negative sentence, right? If you want to change it in affirmative, your first word, you will identify symptom cannot but. Cannot but. For this reason, for this symptom, if you want to change it in affirmative, you have to use must. Maybe you can use have to, has to, can, need. Generally, you have to use must. You will use must, no matter. You will use must. We must. You will use must instead of cannot but. Do the work, do the work. That's enough. That's enough. Okay, my dear student, for this symptom, you can change the sentence or transfer the sentence in negative with cannot but, or you can use can not help. If you use cannot help, then you have to use ing with principal verb. Ing with principal verb. Okay, my dear viewers, if you want to change or transfer any sentence from affirmative to negative, then if you see these types of symptom, you can use cannot but or cannot help. If you want to use cannot help, then you have to use ing with principal verb. Okay, then the sentence will be negative. Okay, dear viewers, follow this example. You will use cannot help instead of must. Can not help instead of must. Okay, then you have to use ing with principal verb. There is a principal verb that is do. You have to use doing. Then you have to use another word, the work. That's enough for negative sentence. This is another negative form. Okay, my dear viewers, you can if you want to change any sentence from affirmative to negative, if you follow or you see these types of symptom, then you can use cannot but or cannot help principal verb plus ing for negative. Okay, and if you want to change this sentence negative to affirmative, then you have to use must instead of cannot help. Then you will remember you have to remove ing from principal verb. Do the work. That's enough. Okay, my dear viewers, these are present form. You follow. If you see these types of symptom that maybe had to or could, then you will use the first form of can. Could not but. You can use could not but instead of had to or could. Okay, or you can use could not help. If you want to use could not help, then you have to use verb plus ing. Okay, follow example. Affirmative. We had to do the work. This is another sentence. You follow the symptom of this sentence had to. This is affirmative. And maybe your instruction, you have to make it negative. Then you have to use you have to use could not but instead of had to. Could not but do the work. That's enough for negative. Without it, you can use we could not help. Then you have to use ing with principal verb. Okay. Then you can use another word. That's enough. You can use we could not but do the work. This is negative. Or you can use we could not help doing the work. This is another negative form. Okay.